starring Lee Marvin.
Well, Captain, you want me to take you home? It's right on my way.
Okay, Frank, I'll be right with you.
What happened, Frank? I don't know. Somebody threw a couple of shots at me. I think he was standing in the doorway over there. My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police. When I reported for duty the next day, I still had no idea who had tried to gun me. The professional criminal seldom waylays a cop to kill him. None of the cases I was working on involved people who take a chance like that. What about Eddie Peltz? He swore he'd get me.
No. Peltz wouldn't have missed.
Yeah. Besides, he still got 3 years in Stateville.
You know, if I had a nickel for every con who's ever threatened me, I could retire. They all sound off at standard.
But when they try to make good on the threat, it can get a little uncomfortable.
I'm gonna put a tail on you.
Oh, come on.
You got nothing to say about it.
Ballinger. Oh, hi, Jerry. How you doing? Yeah, what can I do for you? Uh-huh. Well, what's her name? Agnes Moultrie? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she calls that a threatening letter? Oh, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. Okay, Jerry, I'll check into it for you. Right. So long.
Didn't we have a woman named Moultrie in here a few years back?
Yep, she's been getting some letters and went to a district station about it. They phoned complaints at headquarters.
What kind of letters?
I don't know, undertaker ads cut out in newspapers. She got 6 of them, one every day. She says a man by the name of Ted Stevens is threatening her, she thinks.
Ted Stevens? That sounds familiar.
Sure, he held up that garage on the south side. Had a record for armed robbery, got 3 to 5 years.
Oh, yeah, now I place him. You put him away.
Well, I was one of the witnesses. Hey, I was one. The garage owner was the other. And Agnes Moultrie was the third.
That's pretty flimsy, isn't it, Frank?
Well, he said at the trial that he was innocent, that we were framing him. And he swore that he'd get the 3 of us, no matter how long it took.
Well, where's he now?
I don't know, I think he got out about 13, 14 months ago on parole.
Well, he's been out over a year and nothing's happened. He was going to get even. Why did he wait so long?
Why, as a crook? I think I better check in on it.
All right, go ahead.
Before going up against Ted Stevens, I got a rundown on his parole record at the State Building. His parole officer said that he was a changed man, married to a nice girl, making good at his job for a year, and well-liked in his church and neighborhood. Murder just wasn't in his nature. I drove out to Stevens' house. He wasn't there, but Marjorie Stevens, his wife, was home.
Well, married 7 months, and I'm just now unpacking most of our things. But you see, we were living in a furnished apartment all this time, and, well, I wanted to wait till we had our own house before I sent for my things.
Oh, I understand. Look, why don't I come back when your husband's at home?
Is Ted in any trouble?
No, I just wanted to ask him a few questions.
Well, I do hope it isn't anything serious. Teddy has 2 months to go on his parole, and, well, if he got in any trouble now, they'd send him back.
I see you know about your husband's prison term.
Why, yes, there are no secrets between Teddy and me. Oh, you're home early, darling.
Yes, but I just have time for a quick bite. I have to get back to the office to help with the inventory.
Well, it's ready.
Hello, Lieutenant. Something I can help you with?
Just some questions.
Yes, go right ahead. Just pardon me.
Can you account for your time last night?
What particular hours?
All of them.
Well, he was here all the time. We went to bed at 10:30.
And you're a light sleeper.
No, I'm not. But Teddy didn't go out.
Did he get up?
Well, yes, he came in here to read a book.
And you saw.
Well, no, I didn't, but that's what he does when he can't sleep.
Honey, please don't get upset. Look, Lieutenant, did something happen?
Oh, I just wanted to know where you were last night. Your wife told me.
Oh, Teddy, I'm frightened.
Lieutenant, I don't know what this is all about.
Well, you made some wild statements in court a few years ago.
Now, 4 long years have gone by since then. That person doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. Let's let it go at that.
And, Lieutenant, anything that I've said against you in the past, I wish you'd forget it. And what I got from you, well, I guess I had it coming.
You didn't happen to read the papers today, did you?
No, not yet. Why?
Well, somebody took a couple of pot shots at me last night.
Oh, and you thought...
They've also been sending letters to Mrs. Moultrie telling her to see an undertaker.
Mrs. Moultrie. Now, that's the woman that testified at my trial.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, Lieutenant, believe me, I wouldn't even remember what that woman looks like. You know, Lieutenant, I think somebody's trying to frame me.
Who?
Well, in prison, I made some enemies. That's the way it is up there when you play it straight down the middle.
Do you mind naming some names?
One in particular, Red McShane. I went against his crowd. He said he'd nail me pretty good when we got me outside again.
So now you think McShane's deliberately trying to frame you?
Well, that's the only thing that makes any sense.
You know, McShane shot a police officer 2 weeks ago and we're still looking for him.
Yeah, I read about it.
Well, what makes you think that he'd go out of his way to frame you when he could go to you direct and enjoy it?
His mind doesn't work that way. He's sick.
We'll see. All right, Stevens, thanks for your information.
Okay.
Red McShane's an angle right out of left field. Maybe Stevens was telling the truth. The way he was yelling frame up, I don't know. I just don't buy it. To blame some guy that he knew would resist being taken alive.
There's one thing we do know. We haven't got any evidence against Stevens.
I don't know. That McShane on the run would take time out to cut out undertaker ads and mail them to Mrs. Moultrie and take pot shots at me. I just don't buy it.
You said it before. Why is a crook? You know, they do strange things.
McShane's a bank robber. He's a cool head on a job. Maybe he's twisted all right. But I can't see him framing a guy that he could gun down.
Well, whoever shot at you, I've got a man staying close to Lou Bergen, the garage owner that Stevens threatened at his trial.
Oh, good.
Pattern continues. He could be in for trouble, too.
Yeah. Why don't we have Mrs. Moultrie in again?
That's a good idea. Riley, will you send Miss Moultrie in?
Won't you sit down, Mrs. Moultrie?
Thank you. I just don't know what else I can tell you, Captain. I've told you everything. Now, nobody has followed me, well, that I know of. And just the letters, you know, with the funeral ads. Believe me, I'd help you if I could, because I'm scared.
Mrs. Moultrie, do you have any friends living out of town?
Out of town? Oh, my mother lives in Waukegan.
Could you visit her for a few days?
Well, I have a job.
We could explain to your employer.
Well, I still couldn't leave Chicago. I'm getting married in 2 weeks, and my boyfriend wouldn't like it.
Well, I'm sure that your boyfriend wants you alive, doesn't he?
Is it that serious?
Well, we don't know. We just want to play it safe.
Well, would you explain it to him?
Of course.
Well, I'll go to my mother's place tonight.
And Mrs. Moultrie, you won't tell anybody else where you're going.
No.
Well, it'll be a help with her out of the way.
Yeah, but you better make it fast, Frank. She's a cinch to be back for that wedding.
Yeah. Ten days passed. Nobody shot at me or the garage man Stevens had threatened at his trial. And Red McShane, the cop killer, was still at large.
Frank, I don't get it. Men we've got following you haven't spotted anybody on your tail.
No more letters going to Mrs. Moultrie's house. Now I'm getting the undertaker ads. One yesterday and one today.
Yeah. Typewritten envelopes. Well, they weren't written on the machine in Stevens' office. We checked that.
Oh. Where is Stevens now?
He said he's church. They're running a movie.
Stevens sure lives a model life.
Yeah. Well, it's his best cover. Could be months before he decides to act again, if he's our man.
Either he's very sure of himself, or he's very innocent.
Well, guilty ones usually slip up sooner or later over something very simple.
Some of them don't. On my way home, I decided to check Bergen's garage again. Unlike Mrs. Moultrie and myself, Bergen had received no death threats. All right, Sergeant, you're relieved. I'll take Mr. Bergen's home. It's right on my way. M14, get an ambulance over to Bergen's garage, 29th and Wakely. Within minutes after Bergen and Sergeant Finney had been shot, we located Ted Stevens at his church recreation center. Our man had followed him there, and Stevens had several unimpeachable witnesses, including his minister, the Reverend Travis.
Oh, I'm quite sure. Ted was here all evening. Of that, I can be positive. He was in the booth operating the movie projector.
Well, how long was Stevens in there?
Half hour, from 8:45 to 9:15. Actually, the film was supposed to go on at 8:30.
Oh?
I had some trouble threading the reel.
No, isn't that a coincidence?
What do you mean?
Bergen closes his garage every night at 9 on the dot. Now, the only way in the world that you could get over there and back in time without anybody noticing your absence was if the movie was 15 minutes late.
Lieutenant, I can't blame you much for thinking the way you do. But you're wrong about me. Dead wrong.
Reverend, was Stevens alone in the booth?
Yes.
And the lights were off in the reception hall. So none of you can be certain whether he was in there during the entire shot.
Lieutenant, I was standing right here all the time. Ted did step out once for a cigarette, not 2 feet from where I was. After he finished his cigarette, he returned to the booth. I saw him.
But did you actually see him step out of the booth? I mean, it's possible he could have come in from the street.
What you're suggesting is preposterous, Lieutenant. I've known Ted for nearly a year. He's one of the finest people in my congregation.
I know all about Mr. Stevens' character.
Well, then why don't you stop persecuting him? What does it take to convince you he's telling the truth?
Honey, the lieutenant was just trying to do a job.
I don't care. You're hounding him.
I know how it must look to you, Mrs. Stevens, but you must understand our viewpoint.
Frank.
Oh, excuse me a moment, please.
Our man didn't see Stevens leave the place.
The sergeant was probably looking at the movie.
Yeah, but he can't break Stevens' alibi. He was seated near the projection booth. First time he saw Stevens was when Stevens was with the minister.
Lieutenant, there's something I'd like to say.
What is it, Stevens?
Well, you get Red McShane, and you'll get the truth. He's trying to frame me.
We're working on it, Stevens.
Doesn't anybody believe me?
Another week went by. The possibility that Stevens was telling the truth began to grow on us. We were still watching Stevens, and Homicide was looking for Red McShane in connection with a cafe killing.
There's a rumor around that McShane swore he wouldn't be taken alive.
We gotta take him alive.
Yeah. I don't get it. Stevens wants to kill you. He's done nothing but draw attention to himself.
Maybe. Could be the way his mind works. He might think that we don't suspect him.
Well, there's one thing sure. He's got us beat on evidence. We couldn't prove he used stolen cars to get around it if we had to.
Yeah. Ballinger. Oh, yeah, hold it.
Yeah, speaking. You're positive? Where? We're on our way. Homicide located Red McShane. Just shot his way out of an apartment on 53rd Street and ran to cover in an old house on the south side near Blue Island. Let's go.
McShane! Can you hear me?
I'm a thief, cop. I got 20 years.
All right, throw out your gun and come out with your hands up. We got the place surrounded. surrounded.
You don't got nothing surrounded. Anytime I can handle a few coppers, I'll take up nothing.
We gotta take him alive.
We can't take any chances, Frank. We can't risk killing our own men.
Well, maybe I can wing him.
Don't be a sucker, McShane. Wise up.
You don't got no faith. This way I save the state the expense of a trial.
Porch. Move! What's the matter with your leg?
Cop bullet. I think I got hung up over 2 weeks. When you got me in that fight.
Well, he wasn't running around shooting at you with a leg like that, Frank.
You know Ted Stevens?
No good petty larceny thief. So what?
He says you're trying to get even with him for some prison grudge. Says you're trying to frame him for murder.
I don't know he's alive. If I wanted to get him, I'd do it fast.
Okay, take him down to a district house and book him. Then run him downtown. It's 4:30 now, Captain. I don't want us arrested to get in the evening papers.
Yeah. You want to pick Stevens up now?
Yeah, but I want to try a little pressure on him first. See if he'll run.
Well, he hasn't run yet.
Well, this time he'll either run or fight.
Be careful, Frank.
When do you expect Mr. Stevens back in the office? Oh, I see. Well, if he phones in, will you tell him that Lieutenant Ballinger would like to talk to him down in M Squad headquarters at 7 o'clock? Yeah. All right, thank you.
We just checked McShane's gun through ballistics. It wasn't the gun that fired the slugs taken from the bodies of Sergeant Finney and the garage man.
Well, how they doing?
Well, Sergeant Finney's going to be all right, but there isn't much hope for the garage man.
Ballinger. Oh, yeah. He did? Okay. Stevens just made a phone call from a public telephone booth, and the man telling them lost him. He must have called his office and got my message, no doubt.
Fine. Now we don't know where he is.
Yeah, but he's running. He doesn't know what we want him for. I guess he can't take the pressure.
Well, if you're right, you know where that leaves you.
Well, it's not going to stop me from getting any dinner.
Frank, you can't go out on that street.
The 2 men with me know what to do. The other car's license number to traffic division and put out on all points to pick up Stevens. I lit out for Stevens' home. He was our only suspect. If he was my man, this time I intended to nab him before he had a chance to frame another alibi. doctor came and treated Stevens. It was only a flesh wound, so there was no need to hospitalize him. Stevens insisted he'd been attacked by a man while walking along a street towards his home.
I think he was laying for me. He was in the alley and he took a shot at me. I fell down, then he ran back into the alley.
Couldn't you describe the man to us?
Like I said, it was dark. I only got a glimpse. But I think it was McShane, the same build.
Where's your handkerchief?
In there.
I noticed it was missing when they brought you in.
Well, it could have been lost. It fell from his pocket.
Then he had a handkerchief in his pocket this morning?
Yes, I put one in. I always do. They were fresh from the laundry yesterday.
What are you getting at, Ballinger?
Lieutenant, my husband is telling the truth.
I hope so, Mrs. Stevens. For your sake. Bergen, the garage man, just died. So now this is a murder case. Stay with him. I'll be back in a little while. I met Captain Gray downstairs and told him my suspicion. We went to the alley described by Stevens. We were looking for a white handkerchief and a gun.
What makes you so sure?
I'm not so sure, but my hunch is right. It's got to be here someplace. Stevens said he was shot at the head of the alley. They found the stolen car at the curb. So we'll search here every block if we have to.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah.
An old army trick. Malingerers used to use it to avoid combat duty. They'd wrap a handkerchief around their arm or leg and then pull the trigger. There'd be no flash or powder burns on their clothing or flesh.
Look, Ballinger, I know you're wrong. McShane did it.
McShane didn't shoot at you tonight. I arrested him this afternoon.
How do you prove it's my handkerchief? There's no initials on it.
I think the laundry marks will prove that. Laundries mark the customer's property with invisible ink. It's a state law. And I know we'll find your gun when we tear that alley apart.
Let's talk about it downtown.
No, Ted, no, they're lying. Please, Ted, tell me they're lying.
We found the murder gun and the dealer who sold it to Stevens. The laundry marks said that the handkerchief also belonged to Stevens. A Chicago jury sent him to the death house.
Squad. Starring Lee Marvin.